Zoom, you'll be getting three very, very important points. Number one, why should we be concerned with electromagnetic radiation? Why should we be concerned with exposing devices, electronic devices, to the young people and the older people in our homes? And what is the effect of electromagnetic radiation on our body? All right, we call it EMR. Secondly, what is emGuarde all about? How was it developed? And what is the technology behind emGuarde? And why every single home needs an emGuarde in today's world? It is 100%, no doubt about it, you need it. And number three, how you can actually leverage on this new technology in the market by emGuarde and to build a massive business all around the world, or whether you're in Malaysia and Singapore, or you're from Philippines or Indonesia, and also all around the world. So there'll be three major things I'll be sharing on tonight's Zoom. And I want you to walk away from this Zoom enlightened on the technology, on the opportunity, and also on the danger of EMR. And that's going to help you make a decision to own an emGuarde. And not only that, you can also develop in the business. All right. So let me introduce to you emGuarde Japan's latest patented technology, emGuarde. And emGuarde stands for electromagnetic guard, which means this device is going to guard you from electromagnetic frequency harms. Now, why do we need emGuarde today? Very simple. Because 20 years ago, how did kids grow up? I remember growing up 20 years ago, we did not have iPads, we did not have computer, all these new devices around us. We never had all those things. We were playing outside in the rain, playing football, playing bottle caps, erasers, and playing with our friends. So we grew up in a different environment compared to kids today, because kids today, they're just immersed in devices, and it is a concern for a lot of young parents. All right. So if you're watching this, if you are a parent or you have young children at home, or if you are a grandparent and you see that your young kids, your young generation now is getting all kinds of ADHD, they're getting eyesight problem, they're getting concentration problem. These devices actually has some relation to these kind of effects on the kids, right? Because today they're just surrounded by it. All right. And this is a news that came out about a month ago from France, that they actually halted the sales of the iPhone 12. Now, I'm not sure any of you here use the iPhone 12. We are not here to badmouth any brand. In fact, I'm an Apple user myself, but this is a news that came out on BBC about a month ago, that they had to stop the sales of iPhone 12 over radiation levels, which means even though these devices have to go through testing, measuring, safety testing, but when they found out that the radiation levels was actually exceeding the accepted level, they have to halt the sales of it. So it is a concern, guys. And it's not just phones. Around us in our homes, we have all kinds of devices. Okay? So some of you could be sitting in your living room, all right, and watching this Zoom on your laptop or on your TV. And this is actually how your living room would look like if you can see the electromagnetic radiation, the frequencies. And I would safely say, if all of us can see the electromagnetic radiation pollution in our home, we would not sleep in peace. We would not sit in these kind of environments in peace if we can see it. But what is the tricky part of these things? Electromagnetic radiation, you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it. The only way you can feel it is the after effects when you're exposed to it. Who here, when you use your laptop, phone, or you're surrounded by electronics, high electrostatic environment, right? Sometimes you feel uncomfortable, you feel heaviness, or you feel fatigue, or you feel you can't concentrate so easily when you're in certain environments. Anybody have such an experience before? Type 1 in the chat box. Or maybe you have been on the phone for too long. Maybe you're in front of a laptop too long and you feel uneasy. Type 1 in the chat box. Because if you have felt such feelings before in certain scenarios, what it means is you are being affected by the electromagnetic radiation around you. All right, type 1 in the chat box, guys. This Zoom, there's 19 of us. Let's be interactive. If you never felt it, don't have to type. But if you have felt it, go ahead and type number 1 in the chat box. Okay, so this is how the typical house would look like. So what are our typical EM radiation sources found around us? So we have mobile phones, laptops, sockets. I have a socket right down there below my desk to charge all my phone, laptop, and everything. microwave, high tension wire, air conditioning, LED bulbs. LED bulbs are very high in electromagnetic radiation, and even televisions, right? So these are things that is very high in emR. They are the sources. Now, this is a book that is published here in Malaysia by the Consumer Association of Penang. Penang is one of our biggest states. And they published this book many years ago, right? You will know that this book is not new based on the pictures that they choose to use on the book. You know, the computers were still very big back then. The phone is the old Nokia phone, which means this book has been around for a long time. And they mention the title, Low-Level Radiation, the Invisible Killer, Growing Threat from Electromagnetic Fields. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? It means for the longest of time, experts, doctors, professors, researchers, scientists have already been talking about the danger of radiation from our devices. But the thing is this, we know there is a harm, but we don't know how harmful these kind of radiation actually are. And nobody has told us what are the methods we can do to prevent the harm coming from these devices. But today, in enagic, I'm very proud to say, they have developed a technology that is going to go global in time to come that can actually solve one of the world's biggest problems. All right. Now, WHO back in 2011 also spoke about radiation, and they actually classified radio frequency electromagnetic fields as possibly carcinogenic. Carcinogenic means cancer causing. All right. So these are all the research done by bodies around the world warning us about emR, and even Apple themselves. If you have an Apple iPhone, if you go into your settings, your legal and regulatory, and you go to a column called RF exposure, you can do this in your free time. You will actually see this entire write-up in your iPhone. And Apple themselves tells you to reduce exposure to RF energy, use hands-free, built-in speakerphone, headphone, or other similar accessories. Right? Because these phone companies, they realize these devices emit a lot of electromagnetic radiation. All right. And to protect themselves, they also tell you not to use it directly on your head, use a hands-free or use the speakerphone. But most of the time, ladies and gentlemen, how are we speaking on the phone? We have the phone right onto our ear, next to our brain and our eyes, which is very, very dangerous. Okay. So this is what Apple themselves even says so. So let's understand now. We understand the few what Apple has said and what WHO has said and all these examples that are given so far. But let's actually see how EM radiation actually affects our health. And to know that, there's this simple chart, and this chart is using a detector. A detector can actually accurately measure how much power density does a particular device or a cell tower or a television actually has. And depending on the reading, the higher the reading, if you're going into the green, yellow, orange, and red zone, we call it the red zone, we actually call that a health hazard, which means the power density is above 1,000, 1,500 to 2,000 microwatts. Yeah, if it's below 200, it's not dangerous. Anything above that, it is considered dangerous. All right. And what are the symptoms, ladies and gentlemen? Ear and sinus problem, concentration problem, brain cancer in severe cases, memory loss, fatigue, dizziness, heart problem, infertility. You may look at all these things like, gosh, Simon, are you sure that emR can actually cause all these kind of problems? This is based on research. This is by the FCC. Headaches, body pain, eye soreness, immune system, sleeping problem, stress and anxiety problem, DNA mutation, and even skin irritation. So I want you guys to take a look at this chart. It is the power density of the radiation. So what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to play you guys a few videos. And the first one is so very important because the first one of my colleagues, he actually went to an area in here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, that this home, which is a place that he used to stay, that is about 80 meters away from a high tension tower, a cell tower. All right. And I want you to see what happens. And he has the detector with him.
This is where I used to live. And across the road, less than 100 meters.
So less than 100 meters.
High tension cable.
All right. There's the cable. There's the tower.
Very high density of electric field intensity.
And this is the detector.
If you notice, right, when I turn on the detector, as you can see, The entire airspace around my
1,400,
house is
1,500.
1,500 microwatts. Now this direction is where the high tension cable is not behind the ring, so there is nothing there. But once I move the detector towards the high tension cable, if you notice, the reading is between 1,800 microwatts to 2,000 microwatts steadily.
Above 1,800 microwatts. And ladies and gentlemen, if you see that this is the older generation detector, those of you who have bought the new ones, you will not even see this. When it shows 1, it means it is overloading, which means that the power density of the radiation source is above 2,000 microwatts. All right, and take a look how far this person is from the cell tower. And we spoke about just now on our slides, when you are above 200 to 1,000 to 1,500, you're already going into the orange and red zone. So can you imagine, there are many people out there living in environments that is actually emitting dangerous levels of electromagnetic radiation, and people don't know about it. They know about it when they start to feel the effect on the body. Maybe when they're weaker, they get certain problems in their body, they can't sleep well, and the moment they change the environment, everything changes. You would hear these kind of stories in the market, and many times out of all these cases, it is because of the interference of the electric fields in that environment. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you guys what is a live blood analysis test on how this electromagnetic radiation. So you saw the detector, right? 1,800, 2,000, and these are all red zone red zone readings. And now we're going to show you how does this high EMI environment actually affect our blood. Now, this is Dr. Magda Havas. She's a Canadian researcher and professor. Now, she researches in the areas of environmental and health effects of EMR pollution. And her work focuses on the biological effects of electromagnetic radiation. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not speaking, please make sure that your mic is muted, all right, to not cause any disturbance to the crowd. Thank you very much. And she focuses on the biological effects of EMR. And what did she found? All right, you can go and Google her, Dr. Magda Havas. She has found that in a healthy red blood cell, in a clean AMI environment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be in a clean AMI environment, first of all, you can't be surrounded by your devices. Second of all, you can't even be in a city environment. If you're living in a village, in a resort place where there's no high tension wire, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no cables, there's no electricity running through your walls, then that's what we call a clean AMI environment. If you're like me, you know, I'm in a concrete jungle in Kuala Lumpur. Everywhere I travel, doing my business, working, I'm always surrounded by devices. There's no two ways around it. In a way, it is almost impossible for me to be in a clean AMI environment. All right. However, if you find yourself in a clean environment, your red blood cells should be free flowing. All right. It should be free flowing and healthy looking. But once you expose yourself to 70 minutes on the computer, something called the rouleau formation starts to form. It's a French word. What it means is your red blood cells starts to stack together. And what could that lead to? Poor circulation, low oxygen transport, reduced waste removal, headache, difficulty concentrating, numbness and tingling. I'm sure some of you who, let's say you like to play games on your phone or you like to watch YouTube on your phone, you watch it for a longer time, you start to feel numbness on your fingertips. Anybody experienced this before? You can type 2 in the chat box. This is because of the rouleau formation. It is the blood formation changing in your body. Now, just 10 minutes on a wireless phone, the rouleau formation becomes worse. All right. So a lot of people ask me, so are the devices emitting similar amounts of radiation? I tell them no. Because take a look at that. 70 minutes on a computer, the formation is like that. 10 minutes on a wireless phone, just 10 minutes, the formation is really bad. And we found it to be really true when we did our own testing with our own team member here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, because we got emGuarde about 5 months ago. And this was done, I believe, in July, where we went to a clinic and we got one of our team members to get his blood test. And this is his blood results, live blood analysis, 20 minutes after using his phone. Just watching YouTube, scrolling Facebook. Now, the emGuarde was not on in this experiment. Now, the second experiment is He continues to use the phone for 20 minutes. However, the emGuarde was turned on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where the magic happened. When I saw this with my own eyes, when I saw the doctor taking the blood, putting it onto the dish on the microscope, and I saw the formation, I was shocked. And I knew that this technology is unbelievable. All right, take a look at that. Continue 20 minutes of mobile phone usage after emGuarde was turned on. You can see that the stacking has totally been resolved and the blood went back to free flowing. I have not seen any product that does not have to touch you. You don't have to consume anything. They can actually do this to a human body. It was absolutely amazing. So when I saw this, right, I was like, I need to market this globally. At this point of time, I've already owned 3 emGuardes myself. I'm a user of emGuarde, and I travel with emGuarde everywhere I go. For those of you who are traveling a lot, if you're on the flight, it's a high EMI environment, use the emGuarde. If you're checked into hotel rooms, high EMI environment, use the emGuarde. Yeah, basically I travel with emGuarde everywhere I go. All right. Now, there are 2 places in the body where EMR affects it very easily, and you can immediately see the effects of it. Number 1 is the blood, the fingertip blood. Number 2 is our eyes. Now, this is Dr. Liu from Taiwan. He's an emGuarde user as well. He believes in the technology. He actually promotes the emGuarde to all his eye patients. So for those of you who have eye problem, or you know people that suffers from eye problem, show them this experiment done by Dr. Liu in his laboratory in Taiwan. Now, what he has done is, in the first stage, he got 10 of his patients and he tested the blood circulation of their eyeballs. And if you ask any ophthalmologist or eye specialist, the better the blood circulation, the better your eyes, right? It's common sense, right? So the average blood circulation of these 10 people was 20.1 PSV, 20.1 cm per second. That was the average speed of the blood flow of the 10 people. Now, that was before any experiment was done. That was at the start. Now, the second stage, follow me, go to the second stage, go to the second red circle. This is after 30 minutes of using the phones. Okay, they use the phone for 30 minutes. And guess what? The blood circulation went from 20.1 to 16.2. It is a drop of 20%. 30 minutes on the phone. Let me ask everybody a question. On an average, how many hours do we spend on the phone a day? Can somebody give me an answer in the chat box? Your own answer. How many hours do you think you spend using your phone every day? Is it an hour? Is it 2 hours? Is it 3 hours? Or is it even 5, 6 hours? Give me your answer in the chat box. Okay, so you can type it in the chat box. Is it 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, or 5 hours? Okay. And the last test, the third stage, is when Dr. Liu turned on the emGuarde. And what happened was the blood circulation went from 16.2 all the way up to 25.9 cm per second. Can you see 25.9 is far higher than 20.1, the first experiment? So you may ask, how come? It's because, ladies and gentlemen, our phones are not the only EMR sources in our life. Making sense? There are many other sources around us that contributes to EMR. That's why when emGuarde is turned on, it actually increases the eye blood circulation way above the first stage. Okay, so it is absolutely amazing. I believe it was about a couple weeks ago when I was doing an event in our office in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. There was a lady, I don't remember her name, Malaysian lady. She came up to share her testimonial that her astig on both eyes was about 100 plus, and she did an eye test after using emGuarde for 5 months, 4 or 5 months, I can't really remember. Her astig went down by 50% each eyes. Yeah, one day we'll get her to video, take a video of her testimonial, and we can share it online if she permits it. Yeah, so I was amazed. There was a lady here that actually wanted to test it out on her eyes because she was very near to get astig glasses, and emGuarde actually prevented that. So it was amazing hearing it from a user herself. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, this is the emGuarde. I think there's nothing too complicated about the product. I think the most important thing is we have to realize, based on facts, based on articles, based on doctor report, that there are many reports out there to actually tell us, to educate us that there is harm in EMR. And how the emGuarde actually works is when it turns on, it harmonizes your environment to actually reduce or suppress the effects of the radiation. So what is emGuarde, ladies and gentlemen? It is what we believe here in Enagic is we believe it is the next essential appliance for every home and workspace, because workspace, some of your workspaces are the ones that has the highest level of interference. You have LED bulbs everywhere, you have cables running everywhere. Some of you, when you go to the office, you feel very different when you come back home. Some of you know what I'm talking about. The environment is different and it is affecting you without you knowing. So when you have the emGuarde, it harmonizes the medium to high frequencies. It is a defender. It defends your family and loved ones. And what I love about it, it is low maintenance. You don't need to change anything about the emGuarde. You just plug it into a power source, you leave it on, and it has a lifespan of a minimum of 5 years. Yeah, so this is the emGuarde, ladies and gentlemen. Very straightforward product, and the coverage range is about 8 meters, and this is a guarantee. Yeah, this 8 meters of defense is a guarantee from Enagic because we have done a lot of lab testing. In fact, you guys will be receiving the reports very soon. It'll be posted online on the coverage range of emGuarde. However, if the emGuarde was placed in an open area, example, a big hall or an office space, a big office space without any walls or metal beams, the coverage could be a lot more than this. But to be conservative, 8 meters of defense is a guarantee. So some of you who are living in bigger houses, all right, or you have double story, triple story, whatever, I don't know how big some of your houses are, you may need more than one emGuarde for your home. You just use this 8 meters of defense to do a calculation for your home. Where do you want to put the emGuarde and how many units you need? The best person to ask about this information is the person that invited you into this Zoom today. If you're new, they would advise you accordingly. Okay, so the last slide for the product presentation is I'm going to share with you a summary, because this technology is actually quite elaborate and nobody can do this but Enagic. But I'm going to make it easy to understand. Now, a typical EMR radiation source has a carrier for the radiation density, the density to affect us, our brain, our eyes, and everything. So that's how the radiation travels. Okay. Now the emGuarde technology, once it's turned on, it sends out something called a harmonics frequency. Okay. Now the harmonics frequency has an opposing amplitude to your radiation source. So it sends out a harmonics frequency that is actually designed to break the pathway of the EMR source. So when you break the pathway of the EMR source, it reduces the electric field intensity within its coverage range. In layman term, if the emGuarde is placed and within the coverage range, there is no limit how many devices is in that coverage range. It could be 1 phone, 10 phone, 100 phones. As long as it's within the coverage range, emGuarde will successfully suppress 95% of the EMR emitted by the phone. And how does Enagic back it up? This is the lab report that they have done. On the left, it is a report where they actually measure the electric field intensity of a phone, the EMR source, and you can see it's like connected, right? That's how the carrier is, all right? So you can see that there is radiation. But on the right, once the emGuarde technology is turned on, you can see is no longer connected. That is all the peaks. Can you see that? It has totally suppressed and cut away the electromagnetic radiation pathway of the EMR source. All right. So you're left with only the peaks. So the energy has been diverted, and that's how emGuarde, the technology, is designed to protect us, to cut the pathway of the radiation, to protect us from radiation harm. All right. So the emGuarde, before I go into this slide, I'm going to share another video. I'm going to share with you guys how the emGuarde actually works live, because I think I have not shown that video yet. I'm going to show this one. Okay, I'm not going to share the sound because I would narrate through it. 1 second. Okay. Okay. All right. So now I shot this video, and so if you're using a lot of phones and laptops and all that, I'm going to share with you how the emGuarde actually works. And I have a detector. Now, the detector will actually show you the reading on the phone, which is well above 2000 microwatts. The reading on the laptop, which is well above 2000 microwatts, is overloading. And I'm going to show you right now what happens when the emGuarde is turned on. And it's turned on very easily by just plugging in into a USB-C to a power source. And when I turn on the detector and I put it onto the phone, ladies and gentlemen, this is where everything changed for me when I saw this demo. Can you see the detector actually shows 0? Can you guys see that? I'm just going to rewind a little bit. All right. So when the detector is placed back onto the laptop, it is showing the reading of 0, which means the detector is unable to pick up any electromagnetic radiation interference from the laptop once the emGuarde was turned on. So long story short, when this unit emGuarde is turned on, you're actually protecting yourself and your entire family within the coverage range from electromagnetic radiation harm. All right. Now, in Malaysia, the emGuarde goes for 6,620 ringgit. In Singapore, it's about 2,000 over Sing with your taxes. I don't remember the exact price, but globally, emGuarde will be marketing at 1,480 US dollars pre-tax. All right. Now, at this price point, the company is selling this technology lower than some of the iPhones that is being sold today. Would you guys agree? Some of the iPhones now are selling for 2,000 US dollars. And people change it every 3 to 4 years, and does it really add so much value into our life? Not much. It's a radiation source anyways. But here we're talking about a device. Only emGuarde can do it in the market right now, and it is $1,500. I believe that it is a no-brainer, right? To invest $1,500 to protect ourselves from the harmful effects of EMR. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the emGuarde product demonstration. The tagline of emGuarde is change your environment, change your life, because the company believes that if you're really able to harmonize your environment, your mood will be better, your energy levels will be better. Who here you're already using emGuarde in the chat, in a Zoom room? Type emGuarde in the chat box. You're already a user. Type emGuarde. All right. Now, and who here, you're already using emGuarde and you have gotten positive effects on your body? Type 8 in the chat box. So type emGuarde if you're already using emGuarde, and type 8 if you have gotten positive effects on your body. Okay? Personally, I'm sleeping a lot better. I'm getting a lot better energy. Sorry about that. After the emGuarde is turned on, and the moment I plug out the emGuarde, I can also feel the difference. Okay? Fantastic. So Shiva is using emGuarde. Ang Ahin is using emGuarde. Fantastic. Okay? So that is on the product. But I know some of you have come here to also learn about the opportunity. Remember, I before I started the Zoom, I said there will be 3 main things you'll be taking away from this Zoom. Number 1 is how dangerous EMR is. Number 2, how does the emGuarde by emGuarde actually work? And normally we do more explanation because it's a new product. And number 3, what is the opportunity that's lying ahead of us that can actually give us a global business when no other company in the entire world has this technology? So some of you are pioneer business people. You want to be the first in everything. I wanted to be the first in emGuarde. I wanted to learn everything about this business. I wanted to learn how the technology works, and I want to learn how to market it because I want to be the first to market this in a big way around the world. Now, some of you could be on the same page as me because not every day you get a patented one-of-a-kind technology that lands on your lap for you to market. There are many products for you to market outside in the market, but most of them are generic. So I would say people who are sharp, they know opportunities when they see one. So let me go into the detail on what this business is all about. And for some of you new people, who is emGuarde? So emGuarde is our company that is going to be distributing the product around the world. And they are a 49-year-old Japanese company based out of Okinawa, Japan. And the founders, amazing people, Mr. and Mrs. Soshiro. Mr. Soshiro is in his 80s. He's 82 this year. I think Mr. Soshiro is not far away from him, younger than him. I'm not sure what is the exact age. So they are both from Okinawa, Japan. They founded the company back in 1974. And what was the company doing before emGuarde? I think a lot of you are aware of the Kangen water machines. Some of you may have heard of it. Some of you are already using it. We are a very popular brand around the world. All right, so Kangen water machines, emGuarde is the original equipment manufacturer in Osaka, Japan for the last 49 years. And the company is currently doing more than $1 billion of sales a year. So it is a huge company. And the question comes back to us is, $1 billion company, do you think they will market a product that doesn't extrude excellence? And I think that's why they have chose emGuarde, because emGuarde is one of a kind. And when Mr. Ashura and emGuarde corporate team saw this machine, they just fell in love with it and decided to also market it globally. Okay? And currently, emGuarde has offices in 25 countries, over 42 locations. And I just came back from Istanbul in Turkey. emGuarde, we have just opened up our Turkey office 2 weeks ago. And I was there for the opening ceremony. Those of you who are following the emGuarde Europe Facebook page, you would have seen our photos in Istanbul in Turkey. So Turkey has just opened up. So that makes 26 countries with 43 locations as of December this month. Okay, so exciting stuff. The company is expanding every single year, and they have awards and recognitions from numerous bodies and organizations in the last 49 years. So the certifications are everywhere. The products are amazing, and people have been building this business globally for the last 40 years. And me, myself, personally, my experience is I'm building this business in Dubai, in India, in Turkey, in Istanbul, and I'm opening up more and more markets, because this business, you can go global. You can recruit distributors around the world to market the product. You can create teams around the world, or you may decide to do it only in your town or your city. That works as well. Okay, so emGuarde is a global family. It's a global family. All right, and how does emGuarde do its marketing? So how do we get involved with the business? First of all, we must own an emGuarde. We must be a user of emGuarde products. If we're not using the emGuarde, it's very difficult for us to market the emGuarde, right? So if you're not, example, you can't be telling people iPhone is so good and you're using Samsung, right? So you must be a product of the product. And the company has chosen a direct selling method. And by the way, emGuarde is a licensed direct selling company in Malaysia, in US, in the Middle East, and in India, and a lot of countries in the world. And this is how the system actually works. So every single person that you bring in, first of all, you get a product, you get an emGuarde. And every time you sell to other people, that's what we call direct sales. Okay? So you sell to them, it's called direct sales. Now, the beautiful part about this system is this. Those clients of yours that bought an emGuarde, they can come back to you and say, hey, look, Simon, I love the product. I'm sleeping a lot better. I am getting a lot more energy. My eyesight is getting better, or my muscle pains are getting lesser after working in the office. I really want to recommend this to my friends, or even I really want to learn how to market this. Is there a way for me to do it? And the answer is yes, because the same opportunity given to you is the same opportunity given to them. So all they need to do is they own the emGuarde, and they can also start to market the emGuardes. And once they start to do that, you get something called indirect sales. So it's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. You have your direct sales, and then you have your indirect sales. And the total of these two, we call it group sales. Okay? So it's very simple. So I'm not going to go through the entire compensation model of the company, because it's going to take me at least 2 hours to go through the entire thing. I'm going to focus on the main commission, the bulk of the commission, and where does it go to. Okay? Now, for this one, I'm going to use in ringgit terms. So if you have some people from overseas, you just have to take our ringgit and divide it by 4.5, you will get the dollar equivalent. Okay, 4.5. Now, the emGuarde we know is going for $1,480 or 6,620 ringgit here in Malaysia. Okay, Now, out of every emGuarde, what happens is emGuarde allocates a budget of 2,400 ringgit Malaysia per sale for the distributors. So that is the allocation for the commission, which is pretty generous. You're talking about close to 40%, okay, of the product value they actually paid back to us distributors. Okay, now the 2,400 is further split into 8 parts, or we call it 8 A's, where 1A is 300 ringgit. Okay, now why does the company decide to split it? Very simple. Okay, so let's say you start off in the business, you are a 1A distributor, you just bought your emGuarde, and you can buy the detector as well. You remember the detector that you saw in the videos? It is available for purchase in the emGuarde Malaysia office and the emGuarde Singapore office. All right, and those other countries, once emGuarde is there, you'll be getting the detectors as well. Okay, so that's how easy you can start the emGuarde business. Just buy the detector and start to show people the power density of the devices. And once the emGuarde is turned on, the detector reading goes to 0. It's as simple as that. You can sell an emGuarde in 10-15 minutes if you want to. Okay, you don't actually need to go into all the details if you don't need to. All right, but I like to do it because I like to be very clear. I like people to understand what they're investing in. So first and second sale is what we call a 1A sale, and you earn 300 ringgit each on your first and second sale. But once you get to your third sale, now you're at 600 bucks. When you start to get your second, third sale onwards, you're a 2A and you earn 600 ringgit Malaysia. I just want you to understand, for a product that is about 6,000 over ringgit, on your third sale, you're already earning approximately 8 to 10% of commission. It's pretty good. Yeah. And what is your investment? 1 emGuarde. Okay. And once you get to 3A, now you start to earn 900 ringgit on every direct sale. And how do you get to 3A? You must first have 10 sales in your team. And I say team because the company says achieve 10 group sales, which means group sales is your direct sales plus the indirect sales. They calculate everything in your team. So let's say you have sold to 5 people and they have also recommended 5 people. You have 10 group sales. Therefore, the next direct sale you do, you're qualified to become a 3A distributor and you make 900 bucks. Are you guys following me so far? Am I going too fast? If you're following, type 1 in the chat box. Okay? So once you have 10 group sales, the next direct sale, you level up to 3A and you start earning 900 ringgit on every single sale. Okay? So I think that's quite simple. Thank you, Shiva. Thank you, Catherine. Okay? So what's going to happen after that? So the more you sell, the more the company pays you, because once you achieve 20 cumulative group sales, and the word is cumulative, so from 10, when the number goes to a total of 20, the next direct sale after that is 1,200 ringgit every single sale. And the beautiful thing about emGuarde is once you get to 4A, the rank, you always maintain as 4A. So you don't drop to 3, 2, 1, okay? And every sale, you make 1,200 ringgit. So just imagine you sell 10 emGuardes in a month. That's 12,000 ringgit. All right, 12,000 ringgit if you sell 10 emGuardes. If you sell 20, that is 24,000 ringgit. So it depends how many you can sell. And once you get to 50, you're at 5A, 1,500 ringgit. And once you have done above 200 emGuarde group sales, now you're at 6A and you make 1,800 ringgit Malaysia once you become a 6A distributor. Is that good money, ladies and gentlemen? If you like what you just saw, type 2 in the chat box. You can actually build this business by building a team of people under you, educating them about the technology, sharing with them how the business plan actually works, and build a team that can get you and your other people to 6A and make the maximum commission of 1,800 ringgit. However, let's not forget, in any ideal business, what you want is leverage. What you want is you can build a team, and when the team starts to build further, you earn from your organization and not just your own efforts. So I'm going to share with you what would happen is if you were to actually bring in people that would also develop the emGuarde business. There are 2 types of emGuarde distributors: emGuarde salesmen or emGuarde business builders. emGuarde salesman means you're very good in selling emGuarde, sell. emGuarde business builders means you actually build other distributors, other agents to build the business below you. And that's where you would achieve leverage. And if you're not doing that right now in your business, you have to start doing that. Okay? That's how you're going to make money in the long term. So when you bring in Tom and Alex, you make 300 bucks. And once you get to 2A, you make 600 bucks. But what happens when your distributor, example Tom, starts to also develop the business under you? Guess what happens? The company actually pays you overriding commission of 300 ringgit, or we call it 1A, for your entire group under Tom, under Alex, under Grace, under Polly, under Arthur. Because this is what we call your 1A overriding lane. So remember, guys, you don't just earn from your direct sales. You also earn from your indirect sales. Okay? So the power is in the indirect sales. Let's say you bring in a lady, her name is Kim, but now she's on your 2A, you make 600 bucks. And every time Kim starts to sell, guess what? Take a look at your overriding commission. It jumps from 300 ringgit to 600 ringgit. Are you guys following so far? It's amazing. So what the company is trying to tell you is the money is in the indirect sales, and you have to build your team. This is not a job for salespeople. If you come in here, if you think you're a fantastic salesperson, congratulations, you can sell a lot of emGuardes. But more importantly than that, you need to be a good team builder to build your team. Okay? Because the money is in the team building, if you're looking at this as a business. So after 10 group sales, you bring in a lady, her name is May. Now, when she buys, you make 900. What happens when she sells? Can somebody give me an answer in the chat box? What happens when May sells 1 emGuarde? How much do you make? Can somebody give me an answer in the chat box real quick? Do we have the answer? Thank you so much. I'm getting a lot of response. Thank you, Catherine. 900 bucks, because May is under your 3A line. So what happens when May goes out and sells 10 emGuardes in her first month? Guess what? Your overriding commission from May, this person alone, from her 10 sales, you override 900 ringgit times 10, which is 9,000 ringgit, which is about 2,000 US dollars if May sells 10. Is that good money? It's amazing money, because, ladies and gentlemen, remember one thing. You don't just have one agent selling under you. You can have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. There's no limit how many agents you can get. So I want you to understand the potential of this business. Okay? So let's say your group under your Kim continues to grow. What happens? You keep on earning 600 ringgit Malaysia all the way for your entire group until a certain level. Now, why do I say until a certain level? Because remember, emGuarde is a legitimate licensed direct selling company. They are not one of those Ponzi schemes where they pay and pay and pay and pay, and they lure people in and people lose all their money. No. Every product, the company sets aside 2,400 ringgit. We call it 8As, right? Now, I'm going to show you right now, how does the 2,400 ringgit is distributed among the distributors, okay? So let's look at Dawn buying an emGuarde from John. Now, because Dawn is John's first sale, John will make a 1A commission, which means John makes 300 ringgit on his first sale, right? So just imagine, out of 8As, 1A is paid to John. So there are 7 A's left in the system. So Bob will actually get 2 A's because John is under his 2A. So Bob will get 2 A's. That's 5 A's left. Ani will get 2A. That's 3 A's left. Kim will get 2 A's. That is 1 A left. Which means from the 2,400 ringgit, 2,100 ringgit has been paid to John, Bob, Ani, and Kim. Therefore, you are left with the last 1A commission of 300 ringgit. So for a sale that is so many levels away from you, you would still earn a commission, which is really good. Yeah, really, really good. Second sale, John does another 300 ringgit. Only when John does the third sale, what happens? John starts to earn double the money, right? So John will earn 2 A's, Bob earns 2, Ani earns 2, Kim earns 2. So in this scenario, the 2,400 ringgit allocation from Dan's machine is fully paid to the 4 agents below you. Therefore, when this happens, we call it a non-8A sale. And this is the cutoff point. You don't earn a commission on this sale. Now, when I saw this for the first time, I saw that, wow, this company is very clear. They're very transparent. They're very straightforward on who they pay the commission and how much do they pay on every product. Because you don't want to come into a company where the way they explain to you how they pay the commission is confusing and you don't know where the money comes from and they overpay, they change the plan, and it affects everybody. This 8-point commission plan has been running for the last 30 years because all the Kangen machines are also using the same plan. It is the same plan. It doesn't change. Okay? It doesn't change. All right? So what do you want to do, ladies and gentlemen? You want to develop new lines. That's how you make money in the business. So let's say you get to 4A. Okay? You bring in Tony. When Tony starts to sell the machines, every machines you get 1,200 ringgit. Let's say you bring me in after 50. I'm on your 5A. Every emGuarde I sell, you make 1,500. And let's say after 6A, Okay? After 6A, you recruit a guy named Sam. He buys the emGuarde from you. You make 1,800 ringgit. And every time Sam sells the emGuarde, you make 1,800 ringgit. So I want you to imagine, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to the end of my presentation tonight. You have this amazing technology in your hand, and you're one of the first few people in the entire world to be able to know this. I'm surprised even only 36 people are on this Zoom call, maybe because it was blasted last minute. So I want you to imagine you have a product where people will be excited when they see it from you. Sam gets this product from you, he buys it, you make 1,800 ringgit, and every time Sam markets the emGuarde, you're going to be overriding 1,800. What if Sam sells 10 emGuardes in his first month in the business? How much is your overriding? We are talking about 18,000 ringgit if he sells 10 units, and 18,000 divided 4.5 is $4,000. I'm just converting to US dollars for some of you overseas people. So if Sam does 10 sales a month in his first month, you get $4,000. What if you have 10 of these guys, 20 of these guys around the world? I want you to just look at how powerful this business can actually be. And what is your investment today? Your investment today is one emGuarde and a lot of your time in learning how to market it, a lot of your time in attending our trainings. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the emGuarde product and the business opportunity. I hope you have gotten value so far. I hope it's clear what the product is and how you can benefit from the product and how the business actually works. Because, ladies and gentlemen, emGuarde is a billion-dollar company. They're not first time in the business. Now they have launched a new product, and emGuarde doesn't launch new products all the time. Those of you who have been in the company for some years, you will know they introduce a product every many years. Yeah. And for them to come in now, it means they actually see a huge opportunity in the space of EMR, and they have access to one and only technology that can actually help people to reduce the harmfulness from the EMR. And it is up to us, each and every one of us, to get a hold and learn about this technology and to market it worldwide. Okay, so this is the presentation for tonight. I hope I have given you enough clarity. Don't worry if you still don't understand certain things or how things work. Come back again and again. In fact, we have all these Zoom recordings done in our Telegram group. And if you're not on our Telegram group, just go on Telegram, type emGuarde official channel, okay, and join our Telegram